You know why? Do you know why? It's because the government of Cal. Well, but the reason is because the rich people that give money to the California politicians, they own the real estate. It's like an inside job. They're trying to create like a what is it? Like kings, right? So like if you were able to get into California real estate, um, you're going to get rich. And what's like they have no incentive to build more units or to make the costs go down because think about it, they can charge more money in property taxes. So like the government of California wants property prices to keep going up because they can tax more and they don't build enough units. The old rich people benefit and then just the poor people are all just even more poor. They're all peasants kind of like feudalism.
From California that move out here, they sell their 1,600 square foot home for about 800 to 1.2 million, and they can buy 5,000 square foot here for about 600,000. And then they chill on the other $500,000.
Yep.
I mean, it's insane. I pay, and it's like that. What is it? There's a guy in pro wrestling because I'm in pro wrestling. There's
John
a guy
Cena?
in pro wrestling.
I love John Cena. I love pro wrestling.
And then remember the guy Virgil that was with the $1 Million Man, black guy?
Okay. Go ahead.
So he's gone on social media and he has this kind of saying that says, "Oh, I'm gonna get that F money," okay?
Yeah.
With the expletive in there.
Yep.
It's people from California come out here and they feel like they've doubled their income because the standard of living is so low.
Yep.
And I hope you can't hear my nav in the back, but
No, the quality, the voice quality is good.
All right, perfect. But yeah, so it's amazing just what I hear about taxes in California versus here. To give you an idea, on a $600,000 home, property taxes in South Carolina is about $2,500 a year.
Yeah. So what people don't realize about California, it's kind of like a pyramid scheme because here's the deal, like they don't reassess your property tax. So the reason I didn't keep
Right.
any of my so I invest in Vegas and Texas, and I never kept any of my properties because the problem was I didn't want to keep them as rentals, is they kept reassessing. You know, like both my Vegas and my Texas properties, they doubled in value, and my property tax doubled. In California, and I'll just give an example, is my parents. My parents bought in like the early 2000s. Their property has gone up 5 times. And so their neighbor is paying like almost $50,000 a year in property tax. And my parents are still chilling with that same house and they're paying 10 grand. So what people don't realize is like California really benefits people that bought property a long time ago. And then if you're a business owner and you do your taxes the right way, you don't pay a lot of tax in California. It's really just the working people. And the best example I can give is LeBron James. You know, LeBron James pays way more tax than the owner of the Lakers. The owner of the Lakers, she has a business, so she just deducts everything and probably shows no income, even though she's like a billionaire. Where LeBron, you know,
I've got a friend that works for Jeannie Buzz.
yeah, yeah. So how funny is that? Is that, you know, Jeannie Buss is richer and probably has, you know, way more asset and like her, you know, her that value of the Lakers. It keeps going up. You know, it's probably now worth $10 billion, but she doesn't pay any taxes. And then, you know, LeBron, whatever he makes, half of it just goes to the government. You know, it's an unfair system. You know, where the workers pay more taxes than the owners. You know, we're making the slaves and the knights. Like imagine it was just like feudalism where like the church didn't pay taxes, the rich people didn't pay taxes. It was just the middle class.
Yeah, I mean, I see it every day. Just a entire walk of life of people that own their own home, and you can still see it. I mean, even from gentrification of neighborhoods here, you can really see it, how much it's changed. And even the last, I'd say probably 2 years that I've been doing this. I was in finance for 17 years before that, banking.
Nice.
So, yeah, so in the banking industry, I mean, I remember when a good car note in 2003 was like, hey, can you get me 5.99%? Now it's like, I mean, everybody's offering 0, but then they don't have any cars because of the shortage on chips. And then, like...
And your cars went up. What's funny is I always try to be like, oh, cars are terrible investments. But if you bought in the last couple of years, you actually made money on your car.
I could get 100% of my investment back on a car that I put 160,000 miles on.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
But that's...
Okay, so I spent 45 grand. I've driven it since 2016. I'm at 208,000 miles because I'm in the car every day.
Good for you.
And I can probably get 33 to 35 grand out of it, and it's a 6-year-old car.
Yep. So I think
no sense.
The thing that people need to realize is the trends change. Like what made money in 2000 is not going to make you money in 2010, and what made money in 2010 is not necessarily going to make you money in 2022 or 2021. And it's always changing. And I think the cool thing about this app, and that's the thing, it's like, I got my MBA in 2015, but the stuff they taught me is irrelevant. And I think that you need the internet. This is like the new school, is the internet, to kind of figure out, okay, what's going to work. Just because something worked in the past, or that's how it was successful in the past, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be successful today. And I don't think a lot of people realize that right now, because of this inflation and the car prices went up 15-20%, it's actually good to be in debt, because the people that got into debt and bought those cars actually made money. And it doesn't make sense. Like, you're not supposed to get into debt to buy cars, but things have changed. And if you don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, you're not going to be able to take advantage. You still there? Oh, I lost him. Bummer. I lost him. Okay, so I don't have any comments on my YouTube. You froze. Okay, see if you can come back. I'm going to grab a tea. Let me invite you. It's probably because you're driving. Here, let me invite you. I'm going to go grab my tea. That was a good conversation. I'll be right back, guys. Nice. By the way, everyone that's still here, you guys are the OGs. If you guys don't mind, I'm live streaming on my YouTube. I've been getting randomly banned on TikTok. So if you guys don't mind coming on my YouTube, you can come back to TikTok. I'll type out the name. Just come on my YouTube live, give me a thumbs up. And then if you would rather watch it on TikTok, go back. But yeah. Yeah, did you know I had a YouTube, by the way? Because I know I've seen you in my live streams all the time. Yeah, here. So I'm going to type it out, and hopefully... So it's just my name, Cena Dean. If you just search that on YouTube, I'll come up.
Okay.
And yeah, just subscribe. And then I only need like 1,000 more hours of watch time on YouTube, and I get monetized. So I'm going to try to get all the OG fans to hopefully watch some of my content on YouTube. Yeah. And they don't ban me. Hey,
the YouTube algorithm is so tricky to figure out. We do a ton of advertising for the wrestling stuff.
No way.
On YouTube, and it's just all over the map. So, I mean, I do linear, so, I mean, I advertise on Wednesday nights on AEW locally. I stopped advertising on WWE, even though I'm a shareholder for WWE.
Can you help me create something? Okay, this has been my dream of mine. I've always wanted to have my own, like, minor league. How many minor leagues do they have for pro wrestling? Because I know, like, there's the big leagues, but like wouldn't they like want to work with minor leagues to get like new talent?
So we are in the Carolinas. If you're on your computer, just do a Google search for PWX Wrestling.
Okay.
So we're as close to AAA baseball as you can get in the Southeast.
Okay.
So we work with New Japan Pro Wrestling out of Tokyo, AEW. Most of our roster has worked on AEW or is currently working on AEW on Wednesday night. And then we've got a lot of guys who have left us and gone to WWE in the past 10 years. Like Kevin Owens used to be Kevin Steen.
Okay.
So he's worked for us a bunch. The best advice I can get you is stay out of the business of professional wrestling.
No, but this is more of like a retirement thing for me, and I was wondering, do you guys have like a West Coast thing? Because like I mean, I don't know what the production costs are, but to do something minor league, for me, I actually I know someone with commercial space, and I was always joking like, hey, let's like use it on the weekends for like, because you guys have your East Coast. Like, what if there's a West Coast group of people that want to do like a minor league wrestling? Because I don't know what the production costs are, but I can't imagine it being too expensive. And now with like phones and like going live and all that stuff, I can imagine the production costs being a lot less. But maybe I'm just dreaming. I'm just dreaming.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming. I mean,
all right, thank you for that advice. Stay away. Stick to crypto and stocks.
I'm easily spending 6 figures a year.
So what's your return on investment if you're spending 6 figures, or you think it's not worth it? You should have bought Bitcoin. You could have done a lot less work if you bought Bitcoin.
It's not. That's literally, dude, I had that discussion with my wife. To give you an idea, we did 126 total events in 2019. Since COVID and the election, I have cut that by 75%. Next year, or this year, 2022, I'm doing 6 events of my own and probably 6 events for the Japanese, and that's it.
Okay.
So literally in 2 years, I'm sizing back 90%. We've got a TV studio in Charlotte that I'm closing at the end of February.
But see, this is the problem. So you're doing it the old school way where the production costs are really expensive. Like, what if I was able to just find a bunch of like stupid TikTokers and be like, hey, let's just create, like with like your Apple phones and stuff, and then just create like a pro wrestling, like a low budget one. Because that's how TikTok gets away with it. These smaller content creators, they don't use, they're not spending the same money as like a big studio, but they're able to get views.
So we are doing that now.
See, I'm glad. And you need a West Coast. You need a West Coast person. I want to help you do this on the West Coast. I'll work for free.
So I work with a company out of Seattle called Defy. And so the Japanese company, their office is located in Carson, California.
Yep, I'm very close.
Outside of LA.
Yeah, if you need a representative, if you want, I'll represent you to do the meetings. I'll work for free as your intern.
You got to start working on your Japanese because mine sucks, bro.
So what's nice is there's a lot of bilingual people here. So if I really needed to meet with them, I have bilingual people I know that would translate for me. And then what's crazy is thanks to Google, like I don't know if you have the new Google phones, but we're only 5-10 years away where your phone will just translate. Like they'll speak in Japanese, your phone will, like write it down in English, and then you'll speak in English and you'll show it to them, and it'll write it down in Japanese. So we're not too far away. Yeah. So learning a language. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This like Rosetta Stone, it's going to be like a waste of money and time, because it's like, why learn a language that you'll never be the master of when, the machine will do it much better. It's kind of like, why use a horse when you can use a car or a Tesla now.
Someone was asking me where I'm from in the Carolinas. So I'm in South Carolina most of the time.
Shout out to Jamie and Brian for coming on my YouTube, by the way. I know there's 6 more of you guys on my TikTok. If you guys don't mind just coming on and give me a thumbs up on YouTube, greatly appreciate it. But go ahead. Sorry for interrupting you.
So I do business in North and South Carolina, both. So my commute is, here's what's crazy. My commute is 2.5 hours every day.
You need a self-driving car, man. You need a Tesla.
The infrastructure is not here for it, unfortunately. Charlotte, the market of Charlotte is there, but outside of Charlotte, because I'm traveling in the mountains, the sticks of South Carolina, banjo playing areas, and it's crazy. It's night and day sometimes.
Nice.
It's like, all right, let me go up this goat trail up the side of a mountain.
Yeah, that's crazy. By the way, shout out to Faz for coming on my YouTube. Thank you for the thumbs up. But I don't know if you've ever driven a Tesla, because like in California, there's a lot of them. So like the infrastructure is really cool. And then you just need to stop for 30 minutes. And it usually like you can get half of your battery charge in like 30 minutes. And there's like a ton of them. But I did it. I drove like an hour to a basketball game at Crypto.com Center. It used to be Staples Center. And it was amazing. This was
Yeah.
like 3 years ago. All I had to do was just have my hands on the wheel. That's it. And it literally did everything for me. Um, so, and I can see a future where, because like, my dad commutes a lot and he's getting older where I'm like worried that, he could get in a car accident. So I'm just hoping that, we will have a future where, you can just do a TikTok live with me or, do your other work while the car kind of just takes care of everything.
Oh, doing the other work in the car would greatly help me. Paperwork, running two businesses.
Or
Doing,
do live streams with
most of
me.
my,
Do more TikTok lives with
there
me.
you go.
It makes your car ride go faster, right? I mean, we can talk about
Oh,
stocks,
dude, I'm in
crypto,
the
and
car.
wrestling.
I'm in the car until 8 o'clock your time this morning.
Okay. Yeah, so you got another hour and a half. Okay, cool. Well, I'll try to keep you entertained.
Yeah, so what did you think about, so let me ask you a question, getting on the economy stuff. What did you think about the CPI numbers and the effect that had on the market?
So I think that the Fed chair, JP, he basically had to be hawkish to get reelected, right? Because Trump appointed
Yeah,
him, and so he was worried because you had Elizabeth Warren saying like, we gotta get rid of this guy. This guy's a Republican. He's no good. So I think he had to be hawkish. But I think as soon as he can, because he doesn't want the market to get tanked, and the Democrats do want to win this like 2022 election. So all he needs to do to make this recovery happen, and I feel like there's like going to be insider trading with Nancy Pelosi, but somewhere down this line, because they're supposed to raise the rates in March, like increase the interest rate. And I have a feeling he's going to back out and just be like, you know what? We're not going to raise rates. We don't want to tank the economy. And then boom, like you get another bull run for crypto and stocks. So I think that's the plan because if they're going to crash the economy, why not do it when the Republicans take over? It's very likely in 2023 or 2024, Republicans start to take over. And so they can blame the Republicans like, oh, the recession happened because of the Republicans. But for now, the stimulus started with Trump, right? And then Biden took over, and it's like, why let the economy crash on your watch? Just pump more money, and like they had to act hawkish to like say, hey, we're gonna fight inflation, but like their incentive is just to get reelected, and you get reelected by printing more money.
yeah, I put out a tweet that said, man, I hope it's under 7% because that would be very bullish for crypto. But it ended up coming in right at 7, which puts us in limbo mode because we've been trading sideways for how long now?
Yeah.
The past couple days we've had a good increase in crypto. I've done okay in crypto because I bought most of my portfolio. I'd say probably 60% of my portfolio I bought either in January of 21.
Good for you, man.
Or right in the middle of May 21.
Good for you, man.
What was it?
Good for you.
19. I've got a nice little bag of mana that I wish I would have bought 4 times it because I bought it close to 50 cents, So.
Do you consider?
Then,
So do you have all the you made most of your money on the smaller projects then, right? You didn't go into the bigger projects, correct? Like you want to talk about your holdings? Like you got mana. What else did you buy?
yeah. So my original kind of big pop, I got in Dogecoin at 3 zeros and a 3.
Good for
Okay.
you. How did you? What I'm more impressed is like I don't know how old you are, but I'm just so impressed that you're able to get into these assets because I tried to explain to my parents, and I don't think you're my parents' age. My parents were probably a little bit older, but how did you have like the idea or the curiosity to do this stuff? Like I'm really really impressed that you're able to.
So I am 46. Okay.
That's why. So you're not even that. Yeah, you're not even that old then.
Grew up upstate New York, but I grew up in a charter school that was an IBM charter school.
I see.
Okay. So in first grade, basic and C basic and
QBasic.
C language.
I used to
in
play
first
games.
grade.
Yeah, I used to play games on QBasic. The monkey game. Do you remember the monkey where they throw the bananas? Did you ever play that game?
Yeah.
Yes.
And then like I remember playing Oregon Trail on Commodore 64 or an Apple IIe. I mean, going way back.
Yeah, it's funny. I think we're only 10 years apart, but it shows how close we are. And once again, I think so. It's like you have the technology curiosity, and so that's why you got into crypto, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm still holding.
So let me ask you.
I've ridden Bitcoin twice.
Oh, so you got into crypto how long ago? Did you get into crypto like in 2017 or 18, or when did you buy your first crypto?
So I've had Bitcoin, not a lot of it, you know what I mean? But $100 in 2015 has gone a long way.
Of course, good for you. So yeah, you got into crypto before me. I got into my first purchase in 2017. So good for you.
I converted all of my Dogecoin profits. I converted to Bitcoin the day of Elon on Saturday Night Live. So I want to say,
dude, you timed it perfect. You timed it perfect, man.
I want to say it was 64 to 68 cents. I think it went to 75 right before he went live. But I want to say it was like the low 60s when I sold it. It was like 34 grand worth of profit on $1,100 investment.
Wow.
So, I mean, I 30x'd on Doge. But, I mean, I get into micro caps, small caps. I'll write them up, get sell for, 300% and leave my moon bag as whatever my initial investment was.
Man, I love this strategy, and I really hope you create more financial TikToks, man, because I really like what you're doing. And like I said, there's so much garbage on TikTok, and whenever I can find another creator or host to talk to that, like what you're doing is amazing, and hopefully I can have you on more live streams because I feel like I need to copy some of your moves. I need to copy some of your moves.
So I got into Shiba. I did 12 grand profit in Shiba and still have 3 grand left of it. And it's all just profit. That's my moon bag is like, just under 100 million Shiba, I think.
Good for you, man. Good for you.
And then what else? Cat Girl. I mean, I'm going to give you all these meme coins that are crap, but the key is you get into them within the first 7 days. And then just wait. If there's a utility case or if they have a white paper, they have some tokenomics, your risk is, okay, like Cat Girl, I put in $176 and made like $8,000.
Gosh, man. All right, I got to do more live streams with you, man, because I am the boomer. Like I usually don't touch any of these projects. But what I do feel like, if you're younger and you're okay with taking this kind of risk, you're doing it the right way. Like you're definitely doing it the right way. Because you only went in with $176, and I'm pretty sure that's like less than 1% of your portfolio. And in your mind, that eventually I got to get out of this, or at least just leave the moon bag, leave my $176. But then,
correct.
So you're doing it right, and I guess if people don't hear you on your TikTok, I have you on YouTube. I put these videos on YouTube. Hopefully they'll discover this and they'll realize that there's ways to do it. And do you do like the technical analysis and the chart stuff, or like how do you like the Elon thing? You timed perfectly, but like is that a chart thing or is it just a gut feeling? How do you know when to?
So I'm still holding Elon. I've got a nice moon bag of that. I'm in profit, even when the market has been crap for the past 6 weeks, because I got in so early. The key with a lot of these meme coins is it rides up the first 7 days. The second 7 days, it falls because typically the developers pull all the liquidity out. And then you can buy in there or you buy in on pre-sale. Like I've got one now that I got in on pre-sale when BNB was like $350 or $400. It's on Binance Smart Chain, but it's a pawn shop for NFTs. Well, we all know where NFTs are going in 2022 because it's more searched than crypto.
Yeah.
So I got in on it, and I've ridden it twice already.
Nice. Very nice.
And it's one of those where I'm trying. So myself and my 10-year-old will look at the charts and just follow them. Like on YouTube, you know how you've got the Bitcoin liquidation stream?
Yeah.
Have you seen that one?
Yes. Yep.
We sit there and we challenge each other to say, okay, well, where do you think it's going to be in 15 minutes? Let's start the timer.
Man, your 10-year-old is going to be a genius. By the time he's 20 or 30, he might be like the next Vitalik.
So we switched when it became less profitable. We switched my desktop server / gaming PC and his desktop PC to switching from mining Ethereum because we're on the old card. We switched from mining Ethereum to mining Ravencoin right now. So
wow.
I'm
what are you using? Just a computer?
Computer.
Okay, GPU? Like the graphics?
That's
awesome.
Just the GPUs. But guess what? It pays my power bill. If I want to look at it as pays power bill. If I'm generating, let's say I'm generating $5 a day. If I want to go out and buy a crap coin with $200, sell the Raven coin and go pick up, some BNB and swap it over, and my risk is technically zero for whatever the power was for a few days worth of running.
That's awesome.
And it's at the point where he's got it down now to where goes to school, gets home, plays Fortnite for a couple hours, does his homework, turns the monitor on, goes to bed.
Yeah. That's awesome. So what I hope you do is he should create content on this. I hope as he gets older, whenever he's allowed, he should create some TikTok content on this. I would love to like post, stitches or duets. Because
I'm working with him and my daughter are both working on crypto stuff.
Yeah, because I feel like that's the future. I feel like these content creators, because all this money is going to leave the big media and it's going to go to all these small content creators, and it's a great way to make income from home. Like you do a couple live streams, you do a couple posts, and you can do really, really well, especially if you're doing the financial stuff. Because I know YouTube pays higher. You get more money if your content on YouTube is financially related. And then the way I actually get most of my money for doing all this stuff, because I don't want to charge, I don't want to sell classes, is signups. Like I want to say that Voyager has paid me like close to $5,000 for just, the free Bitcoin sign up. I've gotten about $2,000 on Robinhood signups, and I don't feel like I'm scamming anyone. And I do feel like, if you're going to invest, you want to use these platforms. And I still use Voyager. I still use Robinhood. I still use Interactive Brokers, and I don't have to charge anyone anything. The exchanges pay me just to refer people.
What's the website that you're using to borrow against your stocks?
Interactive Brokers. So if you click, anyone here can click on my profile link. I have a link tree, and it'll say the best, stockbroker in town, Interactive Brokers. And I think they have a $200 promotion, so I get $200 and you get $200. But the cost of debt goes down as you have more stocks. So I believe your first 100 grand, it's like 1.5%. But for me, because I have more than 100 grand of debt, it's like under 1% now.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. And so that's the thing too, is what's cool is like, I'm just always motivated to find the next best deal. So obviously if there's another exchange, for example, like Webull, like I was promoting Webull for a while, but like, they're charging 6 or 7%. So I stopped promoting Webull, and then I now only promote Interactive Brokers and Robinhood because they both lend to you under 3%. And that might change. In the future might be another platform that comes out. And so, whatever platforms I'm looking
at Celsius and Nexo.
I use Celsius. Highly recommend. Please use my referral code because they've also paid me close to $1,000 of Bitcoin. I think you get $50. But
I've signed up with them already.
Okay, no worries.
Listen to what I did. You want to hear a stupid mistake in crypto at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're tired?
What did you do?
I sent 562 Matic on the Matic network rather than Ethereum network.
Oh no! So what happens? Is that lost, or they refund you, or what happens?
They're since October 4th, they are trying to refund me my 562 Matic, and it's gone up so much in price that I'm like, man, that's like $1,600.
Yeah,
like,
and the yield. And the yield too, because if you had it in there, they would be paying you like a 5% yield or something, right? So you're missing out on the yield too.
Yeah, and I've got another 5,000 Matic that's staked on the actual Matic network. So I'm like, I'll just pull out 500 or whatever, and just see which makes me more money, Celsius or actual staking and delegation.
Nice.
Which Celsius pays more than the actual mainnet. So that's why I was like, oh, well, heck, they got a special. Celsius does all these specials. And I was like, oh, 9% on Matic right now. Let's go ahead and jump on that. And I did it at 3 o'clock in the morning without converting it to ERC20.
But you know what? That's a caution to everyone. Like, pay attention, because you can get in trouble like that. By the way, welcome to the live stream, Non-Fungible. Have you met Non-Fungible? If you guys want, he's a CPA. So if you guys want to introduce.
Yeah, I have not met him before. I'm not familiar with Canabruski.
Dude, we gotta have him on the live more. I don't know if you just got on here, but man, he's amazing to have on this live stream. He's a really smart guy.
Yeah, let me follow him. Man, if you check out my latest video though, YOLO, I just found this other CPA yesterday. I think her handle is it's either the not spicy. I think it's the not spicy accountant. I just duetted her on my latest video. Dude, she's got some awesome content.
Okay, I'll check it out.
Not spicy accountant.
Let's get her on a live too. The one thing I would like to do is get some female content creators, because like I said, I used to do live streams with Amber, but now, Just Capital, she's not, she's working for Goldman Sachs. And just, it's just good to have, because most of my live streams are all obviously male dominated, but it'd be nice to have like one or two female content creators.
I feel the same way too, man. Like when I go on my live, it's male dominated. Except for like, there's this one person that we follow each other, like Michelle Marie or something like that. She doesn't make content, but she has awesome comments, great insight on stuff. But this one, the Not Spicy account, she is going to go live tonight with this tax attorney. I think the TikTok tax attorney or something like that.
Hey, let's follow. Sorry to interrupt you, but let's follow I'm the Prophet Bro, because she only needs like 80 more followers. Maybe she can join our live streams. Give her a follow, everyone. Let's get her to 1,000. Yeah, I'm hoping to see more women in the space too.
So Non-Fungible, I talked to Celsius tech support. They are eventually going to add support for the Matic network. Right now, they're doing them in order of all the people that sent to a burn address any of their Matic. So to give you an idea of how many people have made the same mistake, I've been waiting since October 4th.
So this was on Celsius. Yeah, when a mutual of mine had the same issue, he actually did it off of his MetaMask account. Like he had sold an NFT with Polygon ETH and tried sending that back to his wallet through ERC20. And he was telling me that there was a way to like bridge it back, but like his NFT sale was only for $50 or something like that, and the gas to get it back was like over 100.
Yeah, so luckily, since it's on Matic Network, they're going to send it to me back on the Matic Network. It'll just show up in my MetaMask, and they're going to handle, the 2 cents fee. So, luckily it's on the Matic Network, because I've been buying NFTs on Ethereum right now. Holy cow, the gas fee.
Would you be screwed?
I got from that myself, but now last year, I loaded the fuck up, dude. Like, honestly, if I were to value my NFT portfolio at the highest floor price it was last year, it'd be well over 100,000.
So let me ask you guys this. If you had sent the money instead of to Celsius, if you sent it to DeFi wallet, you're screwed. right? The only reason you're able to recover it is because you're using Celsius, which is like based in
That's
America.
what I'm saying. Like, this other content creator named Dexter Loves Cats, he got in the same. He's the one that got into the issue where he tried to transfer his Polygon wrapped Ethereum as if it were regular Ethereum to his Crypto.com account or whatever. And he said he is able to get it back
Because it's Crypto.com. But what people don't realize, if it's one of these random DeFi projects, like how do you get it back? There's no number to call. Right?
There's probably a way, but someone's going to come up with it. You know what I mean? It'll be a funds company or some sort of DAO is going to come up with that solution.
You're right,
I
actually.
know that I think Lossless would probably be the company that would be on the forefront of that. Since for hash wallets, they may be able to figure out, here's this blockchain, let me work with this blockchain, and once they get the permissions correctly to get it back, that's where I think it's going to happen.
What's up?
How's it going? Have you met Tanner Brewski?
Kind of just like better user interfaces that even if they can't get rid of this whole bridging process right away, just make it seem so seamless that the front end user doesn't even know that there's a bridging process going on.
Anyways, welcome on the live stream, Party Finance. Great to have you on.
What's up?
So yeah, we're just talking about how so Party Finance, you want to tell you said it last live stream, but didn't you also have an issue where you sent like a certain amount of Ethereum or something like that? Because he lost 14.
So actually,
go ahead.
I sent Binance Smart Chain to my ETH address on KuCoin when I should not do that. It's like the wrong chain, wrong coin. But basically, like KuCoin, like they have the private keys to the wallet. So in theory, like they have funds and they can like transfer it out. But me, like I don't have access. So like I emailed them. And this is a non-KYC account. So it took them like 2 weeks before they emailed me back. And they were like, all right, if you deposit 1/3 in USDT, we'll give you 2/3 back in USDT.
Nice.
So I still haven't done it, but I pretty much like sent 30 grand. So I have like 30 grand just sitting there.
But you're technically losing like 10 grand on this transaction, right? Just one wrong send.
I pay them 10 grand and then I get 20 grand back. But like I don't want to pay KuCoin 10 grand, so like I'm trying to figure out another way to get my money back.
By the way, shout out to Michelle. Michelle's in this live stream too. So she's real estate and crypto content. Give her a follow. But yeah, I've never had that issue, and I hope I don't have to deal with it. But yeah, especially if it's a long. Yeah, yeah, that would make me really, really sad if it happened to me. Yeah, the only bad thing that's happened to me is I have Lemonade insurance, and so my house caught on fire a year ago, and I'm still fighting with them to get them to pay for stuff. But in the crypto world, I've been doing okay.
Is it going to be easier for you to hire an insurance attorney?
So I already did, and that's why they started paying out. But what's hilarious is I have a public adjuster, and so it wasn't even the public adjuster. I have a contractor who works with these fire claims, and he said Lemonade's the worst. He's like, he has another project where it costs like 300 grand to build the house, and like Lemonade's offer was like 80 grand. But like eventually they have to pay out because then like you start to threaten to like do stuff with the insurance commissioner. So my public adjuster, my contractor, and my attorney are saying like this is just all a game for Lemonade. It's just their standard way they operate. It's like if you don't hire an attorney or a public adjuster, they just ignore you. And they just keep delaying. And then once you figure out that you can actually hire professional help, they start to pay out, but they just legally do everything to delay the payment. And they usually say it takes a year, but they're saying tops maybe 2 years. But like literally that's their business model. They're just like, hey, we're going to be and most insurance companies are like this, he said. He said that literally 80% of insurance companies operate this way where they're just not going to pay you. They're not going to respond to your emails. And then they just wait for you to get legal help and then they start paying out. But it's like crazy that that this business model is allowed to like operate and no one does anything because insurance.
That's all insurance companies. Yeah.
because they have the
only
money.
one that I know of that, yes, the only one that I know of that's not like that, and unfortunately I don't qualify for it, is USAA.
State Farm.
USAA is State Farm's iffy depending upon the state. But like
Okay, because I was
USAA
told from the public adjuster the only big insurance carrier that doesn't play all these games and consistently is good on paying out is State Farm. But maybe he's getting paid by State Farm to say that. But like he said, it's standard for most insurance companies. But he said that like Lemonade is like on its own level, and he said that most new insurance companies, that's what they do because they don't have that many complaints with the insurance commissioner. So if it's like a newer insurance, and that's why there's always new insurance companies forming. It's because like they have like a way that they can just get away and be really dirty for like 4 or 5 years, and then they get in trouble. But it's like literally the business model of just like start a new insurance company, deny as many claims, don't pay out, ignore. It's crazy that the government allows this like racket, you know?
That's a pretty messed up racket, dude. Damn.
Yeah, and it's all like, you know, they're buddies with the insurance commissioner, all these big insurance companies, you know, like usually the insurance commissioner worked or, you know, did stuff with the insurance. It's the dirtiest thing ever. And like I said, if you're wealthy, it's no big deal because like, you know, like for me, I obviously the first like 9 months, they didn't pay out on anything. But like, you know, I have capital, so I was able to, you know, figure out my housing situation. I was able to hire an attorney. I was able to get a public adjuster. But yeah, if you're a poor person, it's meant to crush you.
Yeah, you'd be horribly underwater, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I want to see Elizabeth Warren complain about that. You know, she's always trying to complain about Elon Musk and like, oh, these billionaires are bad. It's like, wait, let's first, and you know, this is just house insurance. Like medical insurance is even worse. You know, can you imagine like you've been paying your entire life and then like your life depends on this like transplant and then the insurance company just stops responding and like doesn't, you know what I mean? Because the legal system is slow. So no matter what you want to do, they know the legal system's slow. So they just, you know, if they want to, they just don't respond and just, you know, wait until you die. Crazy.
All right, so I want to give you an example of crazy medical insurance, right? So my mom and dad are in their mid-70s. My mom had the choice of cataract surgery for eyesight or LASIK. Okay, they both solved the issue of cataracts, right? We can do cataract surgery for $5,200, or if you'd like to pay out of pocket, an additional $2,000 or $1,800 for $7,000 total, we'll do LASIK for you. And LASIK, time-wise, is an outpatient. Well, they're both outpatient, but
I got LASIK.
I
got LASIK, by the way.
So I mean, you know, that's not a very difficult procedure in this day and age.
Those surgeons make so much money. I think I had to pay $5,000. It was like $2,500 per an eye.
No.
This was a long time ago too. I'm sure with inflation's gone up, but literally the surgeon just pushes a button. They put drops in your eyes, pushes a button, and he's like, "Give me $5,000," and it was less than an hour procedure.
Yep. So it's crazy. And my mom goes, "Well, I'm 75 with COVID. I hope I didn't waste the money." I'm like, it's nuts. That's how my mother thinks, you know?
Yeah, and what's crazy is the insurance company CEOs make so much money. Like I was actually bringing it up to my dad.
Amounts of money.
I'm like, Dad, you're a.
They make like investment banker CEO money.
No. They make more. They make like 35 to 50 million a year.
So that's how much like CEOs would make at these big
Yeah,
banks.
and so what I was
just saying,
bring-
like the insurance companies, and then only the banks make more money than the insurance companies.
And I was bringing this up to my dad because my dad's a spine surgeon that went to school for 12 years. And I'm like, hey, Dad, why does the average spine surgeon make $500,000, but then the average insurance CEO that really does nothing, right? Really, he does nothing. He makes like what you make in 1 year. What he makes in 1 year is not what like, you know, most spine surgeons won't make it in a lifetime, you know? And they have to do the spine surgery where the CEO makes all the money. So capitalism, baby. And you don't see this in other countries. Like, you know, the reason I can go, like I like living in California. This is another advantage people don't realize is that your healthcare costs are actually very low in California. Because if you have no money, you get free healthcare. But you can go to Mexico and you can pay cash for a lot of these like older elective surgeries. And when you're paying cash, there's no BS, there's no authorization, there's nothing. And so for me, I
a second ago when you said it's not the same in other countries, I thought you were about to talk about like the high CEO compensations.
Yeah, I mean, insurance companies don't make that much money in other countries because they regulate them. Like in Canada, they don't you don't see these crazy profits because it's all regulated. They're not allowed to make that kind of stupid money. You know, it's the same with prescription medication. Like I can go and like something that would cost me like $300-400 here, I can go buy the same brand. I mean, most of these corporations, they're international, so I can buy the same international brand in Mexico for like 1/15 the price. And the only reason is because they're not buying the Mexican politicians, or they didn't set it up where, you know, because like it's just the corruption in our healthcare system, and it's not a free market. It's literally like a cartel that they set up to make like a few people really, really rich.
And what's crazy to me is like this whole high CEO compensation. It's relatively still a modern phenomenon. Like if you look at salaries before the 80s. Man, they were just like they were in the rest of the world. They weren't making like thousands of times more than the lowest paid worker. They were making like 10 times more or something, way more reasonable, you know?
Yeah, it's Citizens United. Once we decided to legalize bribery is when it all went bad for the common people. It's because it used to be where a corporation or a rich person could only donate $2.5 grand, but then they were like, hey, your money is free speech. So if you want to give 5, 10, 20, you know, this is what the Koch brothers do. You want to give $500 million to people, you can legally do it. And so they control all the politicians. In fact, I think it's like 95% of the people the Koch brothers give money to, they win. They win their election. Like how awesome is that? Like whoever you buy.
The Koch brothers too is like they fund hella nonprofits to make it sound like it's this middle of the road narrative that they're, you know, trying to sell.
And they evade taxes by doing it too.
Yeah. To me, like, I'm not going to hate on them because to me that's like the ultimate.
And they're libertarian. At least they're not crazy. They're more
to decide where my money gets allocated to the government, and maybe not 100% of it, but if most of it, it could be like, no, it's going to the nonprofits I choose and all that. So. Yeah. I respect that.
But supposedly crypto, right, with this like decentralization, like the whole idea of like, you know, because when the revolution happened, it was 1776. So I understand you need to hire a representative, but I think people need to wake up and realize that representatives are very corrupt. It's just the nature of someone representing you. And so they need to take a lot of these measures and just make it where you can vote on your phone, like actually not make, because like right now, the representatives that get into office, it's about 10% of the population votes on these like super small, like, you know, because it's not even a main election, right? And so basically out of that 10% that votes, it's 5% special interest. It's all unions and all. Thank you, Lisa.
The way these small votes get like hella like, you know, appropriated or whatever by special interest groups, it's insane. And these special interest groups can just be like, people that, I'm going to say straight up, they're brainwashing people that don't know any better.
Yeah. But anyways, hopefully with the blockchain and like hopefully, because I know like countries like Estonia, believe it or not, Estonia, they do now voting by your phone. And so like if people can actually vote on their phone, and then instead of like, you know, like how California has like legalization of marijuana, it wasn't a bunch of representatives. They just let the state vote. And like that's what a true democracy is, because unfortunately a representative is not going to have your best interest. And I can understand that they need to make special like decisions, right? But a lot of these common things that we don't agree on, if it could just be like a general vote on your phone, it would solve a lot of the problems, but then it would take all the money away from special interest groups and power.
As long as that voting has facial recognition on it, I'd be fine with that.
Yeah, you can do your iris, and that's the thing is, I think right now the way we vote on paper ballots is the biggest scam. I don't know if my vote got counted. I don't know if it, you know, there's no like blockchain for me to go and verify. So I just put my ballot in one of these mailboxes, and then I hope that my vote counted. It's absolute like a scam.
There's no reason they can't do like the hella KYC that like a Binance.com does, where they're, you know, having you scan your whatever ID.
Yeah, you can scan your iris. You can scan your
all that.
You can scan your iris. You can give them thumbprints. There's so much biometric data you can give to make sure it's you. But they don't want.
Your password, whatever.
Yeah. By the way, shout out to everyone here in the live stream. If you don't mind coming on my YouTube and give me a thumbs up, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel a bigger following because I do get randomly banned on TikTok. So I'm going to type out my YouTube. If you don't mind, just come on this live stream, give me a thumbs up, and then you can go back to the other one if you prefer TikTok. Sorry, guys. But yeah. So we went from crypto talk to political, but I think a lot of our political problems, crypto is going to solve. I don't know if I'm an optimist, but I feel like in the future we realize that the blockchain is much like better and smart contracts are much better than like trusting our government because their government is not transparent and like representatives are not like you don't get to hear the deals that AOC cuts. You don't get to hear the deals that Nancy Pelosi cuts. You know, it's all like backroom. You have no clue what they're doing. But, you know, if we have a blockchain and, you know, open voting and, you know, a real democracy, I think a lot of this like corruption goes away.
I mean, politically, I wholeheartedly believe that decentralized ledger technologies have something to offer for everybody, no matter what, you know, side of the aisle you're on.
So if there's a reason to invest in crypto is to actually create a real democracy. So even if you think all crypto is a scam and NFTs are a joke, which I kind of agree, the one thing crypto has done is it's going to get rid of the corruption of the centralized powers. You know, like the Fed is super corrupt. What they're doing, you know, you don't vote who goes into the Fed chair, right? Like your savings and your, you know, all your assets is all determined on whatever the Fed wants to do. And you got insiders like Nancy Pelosi that get the information and profit. And like, we don't get any of this, you know, it's a joke.
It's a catch-22 because, like, I'll give you an example. Like, HBAR is doing a lot of stuff right now that could potentially be an invasion of someone's health privacy. But at the same time, it's, okay, so people want a government that represents them, but they don't want a government to overtax them to give them something they don't want. There's your catch-22.
But the blockchain gets rid of taxation. Like all these bureaucrats, like for example, like welfare and all this BS, like they hire like hundreds of people to process claims when it could just be like a smart contract. You know, you get your digital payment. Like the whole idea with technology is to get rid of the bureaucrats. The bureaucrats is what makes the system corrupt. Like the reason why California.
And on the other end, and I don't want to sound like I'm picking on people less fortunate because you know I want to put out the caveat that I feel myself a big Democrat. You know, I supported Bernie even, but
a lot of the money.
And seeing my lady like work with a lot of these social service agencies to provide like translation, interpretation work or whatever. She'll come home and tell me about how many people are scamming the welfare system here.
Exactly.
She's constantly telling me these stories.
Exactly. And what's even more crazy is, for example, the Red Cross, right? The CEO makes like 800 grand. And like when you send $1 to Haiti, they only get 10 cents. Like 90 cents is spent on just like middlemen. But you see with crypto, you could just say, okay, what's, you know, hey, that person in Haiti that I actually see that like has no money, what's your wallet? You know, once we cut out the bureaucracy, I think a lot more people will actually benefit because what people don't realize is there's a lot of thieves that are just, you know, the reason the bureaucracy is there, it's not really incentivized to help people. And I think the homeless problem is another example. There's no incentive for the bureaucrats to solve the homeless problem because there's all this money made on, you know, like spending, you know, what is it? I think they were trying to spend like $500,000 per homeless person. You know, where's this $500,000 going? It's going to middlemen. And the whole idea with blockchain and a transparent financial system, it gets rid of all of this, all these parasites.
Yep.
Gets rid of all the parasites.
About blockchain is getting rid of the middleman. Yep.
And this is something that Democrats and Republicans can agree on, right? We all want to help people, but the reason the Republicans are against helping people because they see all the waste. And I'm pretty sure most Democrats don't want, you know, all the, you know, they don't want all their social spending to go, you know, like the train to nowhere to California. You know, we spent billions on this train that didn't go to anywhere. Who benefited? Just Gavin Newsom's, you know, buddies, right? No Democrat or Republican wants that.
A bunch of engineers that got to do these studies.
Exactly. No Democrats or Republicans want that, but they see the people that are making all the money scamming us. They want us to fight. They don't want us to realize that, like, wait a minute, it's actually, the people in power that are scamming us. And the only way they can continue to scam us is divide us and make it. But, technology is going to come and eat their lunch, Like, the only reason they can get away with it is because in the old times you had to rely on humans. But as we have progressed, we see the problem with relying on humans. But if you can set up a code that's transparent, that anyone can look at and anyone can check, it's going to get rid of a lot of this corruption and a lot of this BS.
And the other one I kind of really looking forward to is, so we have these, like, all these information asymmetries, which is just a fancy way of saying, like, stuff gets reported to us late. It gets reported to us, like, we were constantly getting yesterday's news, whether it be like,
unless you're Nancy Pelosi.
Trading, yeah.
Nancy Pelosi gets today's news.
Nancy Pelosi trades, or getting the budget like 3 months after they've already planned it, or even worse, after all the money's already been spent. This is all the money we already spent. Here's the budget after the fact. Some crazy shit like that,
Yeah. By the way, just so you guys know, the wisest person and the youngest person is in the room is Party Finance, but he doesn't talk a lot. He's very efficient. He's very efficient. When he talks, it's very short and very to the point. So that's the only reason. If everyone's
there's no point of debating on politics. Like, none of us can change shit, so there's no point even.
But I think we can all agree, no matter what your political view is that technology can solve this problem. And I know that a lot of people are losing money in crypto and they think crypto is a bad thing, but, like, look, you need all these crappy .com companies to create Amazon, right? Like, you needed all these companies to go under to create the wonderful service of Amazon, Airbnb, blah, 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 right? And I think that crypto is the same way. So even if you burn money on crappy scam coins, some of that money is going to future technology that will get rid of Nancy Pelosi. That's something I think everyone should agree that, you investing in crypto, it could be just to make money. I feel like a lot of these problems that we have, if we can trust technology and technology is transparent, we can get rid of a lot of this waste.
That's why
we didn't even know we had, too.
Even though there's coins that I don't agree with some of what their utility is, I still invest in them because guess what? If there's money to be made, I'm gonna ride it, and then I'll get out when I feel like I've made enough on that coin. So HBAR is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, talk about HBAR.
I wanted to ask you how you feel about HBAR.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because I've been on some other lives where people have kind of been discussing it, and this one guy,
the dictator,
he just has gone off about how it's not really that decentralized, and about the licensing through what is it, Skrills or whatever it's called. And even though they do have like an exclusive licensing agreement with HBAR for the Hashrate technology, they didn't used to. And I guarantee you they have like a get out of jail clause in that contract, to where if they're not happy with what Hshare is doing, they can start licensing that technology to other interested parties.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of sharing. I mean, I'm not ever sick, but I'm not in a big fan of everybody knowing on the blockchain or having the ability on the blockchain to know someone's physical health. So that's where my fundamental disagreement is with HBAR. But when you get in for less than 20 cents, I'm going to ride HBAR to wherever HBAR wants to go.
Can't they update it though? Like, can't they do something where you can just opt out? So then it's like, if you want to share your data, you can, you can't. This is software, so it's easy to update it and make it more malleable, right? Maybe
there should be. I mean, I fall more in an independent libertarian type pocket, to where I want less involvement from everybody in my own life. But I mean, I want it to be fair for everybody too.
That's like 80% of America.
My moral compass.
I feel like that's 80% of America. Like, you're a libertarian, but you might be more left or might be right. It's just like we don't have any of the power. It just goes to all the crazies and the big corporations. That's who gets all the power.
There's too much influence financially from big corp and lobbyists in politics, that's going to eventually either be the downfall of this company or of this country, or not. You know what I mean? Depending on what the public finally decides, what's the best route for the country to move forward in.
Well, do you want China? Because that's the other option where,
Right.
you know, there's only one party and, you know, there's no corruption in China. Well, I mean, obviously there's corruption, but, you know, they don't have to worry about getting reelected in China. They just do whatever they think is best for 5-10 years because you just have a king. You have an emperor.
Well, I mean, didn't someone in the news just say that, it's easier for decisions? The press girl, the redhead, didn't she say at the podium that it's easier for China to make decisions because it doesn't have to go through Congress and it doesn't have to be public decided upon? An authoritarian government works easier sometimes.
Yep. And there's been a clean, and this is why I don't think the US will ever ban crypto, because now there's like a clear like sign. It's like if your government is non-authoritarian, you allow crypto. And like the only countries that ban crypto are authoritarian governments. So it's like, it's awesome that there's like...
there's this certificate program I did for crypto advisory. I need to get the slides, but they had this awesome slide that showed like a graphic of a map, and it showed exactly what you're saying, because it briefly stated kind of like the different crypto laws, and the whole thing is like, yeah, the more authoritative countries are not allowing crypto.
So that's why I'm not worried about, I think that like, you know, maybe before Tesla bought Bitcoin, like once Tesla bought Bitcoin, I knew that like there's no way America will ban it, and that basically as more and more people get into crypto, the politicians want votes, they're going to support crypto. And I think like you see all these crypto bills that they were trying to pass, like it's been actually like the crypto lobby is just going to get more and more powerful. So I'm just happy. I think there's a lot less risk. I know that's like, you know, all of us, you know, we already believe in crypto, but like I feel like a lot of this people that are late to crypto, they don't realize that a lot of this risk has been taken away, and it's thanks to China.
I'm still trying to push my mom and dad towards crypto even heavier, because I'm like, hey, remember when I told you to spend $2,000 on this? Well, now it's worth 25. How big of a return have you made on that moderate risk IRA?
My dad still does bonds, municipal, like California bonds. He's like, I'm getting 3.5% tax free. I'm like, Dad, the inflation rate is 7%. You're losing money.
I've got an uncle that's, I think he's in his late 80s, that has been in bonds since he was 18 years old. He, never had kids, never had a family. Has a couple places on the East Coast for property-wise. But I was like, you're making 0.5%. What is the point of 0.5%? He's like, oh, I don't trust all that crazy. I mean, old school. I don't trust all that crazy crypto stuff. I was like, in 6 months, I could have made what you made in 7 years.
But I do want to bring this up, is the FHA loan, because someone on my YouTube brought this up. So crypto is a great way to make money, and stocks is a great way to make money. But let's be honest, one of the best ways, especially in this crazy inflation environment, is actually, yeah. And the loans, man, these loans, like here, let me give you a $500,000 asset for, 15 grand. And then by the way, in 10 years, your rent will triple. Your rent will go up 3 times the amount, and your property price will triple. And by the way, that debt, you're still paying 3%. It's like, it's the easiest way to become a millionaire. FHA loans.
The problem we're running into in my market, the housing market, is just insane.
But,
I know it's crazy all over the country, but they're on average here, there's such a shortage because people are moving from other areas to us.
But they're not allowing building too. See,
at a rate of around. Well, they are here, so
but they're not in California, and you're getting screwed.
I'm in the right.
My broker buddy, he's got a huge, he's a really big dude with development. He's got this city council meeting or with the state even here in a few weeks.
But yeah, what people don't realize is that the politicians are incentivized not to build units because, who are the voters? All the people that own, once again, all the corporations and rich people. So like there's no incentive. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, and this is why you guys are all getting screwed with higher prices. It's because in California, they passed a law in 2020 where you need to add solar panels to every new house. So all you're doing is raising the cost, and then guess what happens?
Oh my
California,
God.
yeah. So Californians, and it's like we're already underbuilding in California. I think we need like 250,000 units. So we need 250,000 units to be built. We're only building 80,000, and like most of those 80,000 are like high-end luxury units that just go to like offshore Chinese and Japanese investors. So all they're doing is making it more expensive. And so not only are they screwing the Californians, but then they're screwing all the other markets because the Californians leave and they go raise the price everywhere else.
Wow, I didn't know that about the solar panel thing. 'Cause
We have a
out
housing
here, that would add
crisis.
$50,000. Yeah, out here that would add $50,000 to a house.
Exactly.
Okay.
And we have homeless people. We have homeless people in the streets.
Out there, just because of the pricing out there, that's going to add 75 to 80K to a house.
No, it only added like 25. It only added like 25 to mine.
You did it a long time ago then.
Battery.
You probably did it a long time ago because I'm telling you
Okay.
now. Yeah, because it's way more
Like
with
a year
labor.
ago.
With labor costs and unions, it's gone up. And what people don't realize is that they're not even that energy efficient. It's not even that like good. So it's like, wait, you're gonna allow more homeless people to sit on the street and not have housing, so you can force, your special, and it's basically, special interests that are bribing the politicians. Like, hey, like we want to make more money, so here, pass this regulation so we can make more money, and then more homeless people on the street. Housing prices go up, so basically everyone gets a lower standard of living. So once again, some corporation can make more money on sticking inefficient solar panels on. And a lot of these houses, they don't need it. Like the small houses, they don't need solar panels. You just need it on big luxury properties. But they're going to force every property to have solar panels.
What's crazy for me, what I was telling you about earlier with the mining that I do and my son does in each of our rooms, I can lower my heating automatically because I'm generating more heat from the two miners in the winter.
That's so smart.
My wife goes, how did you pull that off? And I'm like, well, it's generating, 74 degrees Celsius in two rooms. So there's two rooms upstairs that I don't have to heat because it's automatically being generated. Then my son goes, I'm turning the fan on. I was like, well, I'll turn the heat down to get it to the right temperature.
Yeah, and I just want to bring this up because this was a question in the comments, but people don't realize that like when it comes to debt, it's actually not good to pay off your debt. When inflation is 7%, you don't pay off your debt because if you're in debt for 2 or 3%, that money is getting devalued. And that's counterintuitive. People don't realize that because usually debt's supposed to be bad, and it is bad if it's like a student debt because you can't, well, I guess you can write off your student debt, but it's usually like 7 or 8%.
And it's low interest. And it's low interest at least. And like even me personally, because I have like 6-figure student loan debt, and I'm the type that like if I could pay it off right now, all of it, I wouldn't. I'd leave like maybe
they're charging you zero.
20 to 30,000.
Right? Your student loan debt is zero right now, and then there's a loophole. If you take community college classes, you don't have to pay it. It stays at zero. I don't know if people know this. There's a loophole right now where as long as you stay in school, they're going to let your student debt stay at zero. So I have friends that are just taking like random community college classes so they don't have to service the debt. And it's actually really smart because if it's at 0% and inflation is 7%, that means in 5-10 years, your debt is going to be worth like, half of what it used to cost, and you're not paying any interest on it.
I paid mine off and still paying my wife's off.
Man.
While she's staying home.
So,
Love it.
so I had the best deal ever. It's called Bank of Mom and Dad. This is one advantage wealthy people have that they probably don't bring up enough. But yeah, I had free healthcare and free education. And it's crazy because you're right. Like there's a lot of people that, it takes them 30, 40 years to pay off the loan. And then there's a couple of people that win the lottery of life and they don't have to worry about it. Bank of Mom and Dad.
prior to the inflation going up, 2020 was my best year financially. And non-fungible, I'm going to get with you on some tax stuff too, by the way. Because I'm running into the same situation. Yeah, I'm running into the same situation this year as I did last year. Luckily, my business has decreased, so my revenue has decreased, so I can show more loss business-wise. That's the only thing that has balanced me out, is because my business is in North Carolina. I live in South Carolina. North Carolina shut down my ability to really do more events. So therefore, besides just, my rental, I couldn't, my commercial property, I couldn't rent it out. I couldn't sublet it. I couldn't do anything with it. So, I flushed that $60K down the tube or whatever. So I'm writing off as much as I can again this year. 2020, I think I wrote off 120 grand just from business loss.
Good for you. And remember, if you do pay taxes, half of it is going to go to the military, and it's going to go to Iraq and Afghanistan. And then Dick Cheney's going to get rich, and whoever owns those companies is going to get rich. But literally, that's where half of our money goes to. It's the military-industrial complex, and there's really no one to fight other than China. And the only way you get China to not be a threat is improve our economy. We don't need what is it? The aircraft carriers that we're building that are $5 billion. They're worthless now because a $10 million missile can destroy these $5 billion aircraft carriers. So we literally created all these.
That's the one that really it infuriates me and just blows my mind to think about the trillions, tens of trillions. God knows how much money we've wasted on this outdated technology that's worthless now.
And think about the infrastructure we could have built. Think about all the because that's the thing that China invested in is they have all these high-powered trains that you can go from this country to that, and it's we could have done that stuff, but instead we built a bunch of stuff that can basically be destroyed by Iraq and Afghanistan should be proof that it doesn't matter how much money you spend on the technology, you can't bully people in their own country. So. But it's good for oil and gas profits, and it's great for the military-industrial complex. And like I said, that's how Dick Cheney got rich,
YOLO, I got a question for you. How much is a gallon of gas out there right now?
So I'm a hustler. We have Costco, so it's around $4. But if you want to go to a normal gas station, it's closer to $5. But I drive a hybrid, so I get 50 miles a gallon. So.
Dude, I would die in California.
But if you have a Tesla, it's $0. If you have a Tesla, it's $0.
Yeah, but I'm not waiting 40 minutes for my car to fully charge.
Well, it's usually 30 minutes to let your car charge. And what's cool, it's usually at places you for example, I would never have to wait for my car to charge because the gym I go to, and remember, I have it's 24-hour fitness. So literally wherever I go, there's usually a 24-hour fitness and a Tesla supercharger. So I can literally go park my car, go get the workout I should have every day, and then come back, and I'll never have to pay for gas. But it sucks if you're in another country.
Dude, no, even after the freeze we had last year, there's no way I'm getting an electric car.
And
What area in Texas?
I'm in Houston.
Oh, and then by the way, I should tell you guys this. So my fire specialist guy who does all the contractor repairs for fire properties, he says that most of the claims he has in California are because of Teslas or Tesla charging. You put in your own charging station in your house.
Oh, that's damn.
So if you have a Tesla, don't get Lemonade insurance. You've been warned. But yeah, be careful with.
YOLO, I may get disconnected. I gotta.
No worries. But hey, I hope I see you on these live streams more often, man. I really enjoyed our talk that we had. So yeah, just, whenever you're on these long road trips, if you don't mind, send me your number or I can message you my number. But yeah, whenever you have these long road trips, jump on the live stream. And we should have asked him what coins he's looking at. What's the next cat girl? What's the next cat girl?
I'm trying to read what this guy wrote.
He's in my live streams all the time. So hi, my Russian friend.
You're saying hi. He's saying hi in Russian. Привет. Yeah.
Yeah, you could probably copy and paste
Greetings,
it.
friends.
Привет, droid мой.
If you hold it,
Sorry if I butchered that.
If you hold down the comment, you can translate it.
That's so cool. Hold on, let me see this. Oh, it's not working for me.
Oh, you can.
Oh, translate. Yeah, greeting my friend. Dude, this is why you don't need to learn a language. I was actually talking to him how like the Rosetta Stone is going to be the biggest waste of money because within 5 to 10 years, you can just put on one of those like AirPods and it'll translate for you. Yeah, hey, thank you, Jamie, for being in my YouTube live stream for this long because once again, I need to get like about 1,000 hours of watch time. So if you guys don't mind, at nighttime, go on my YouTube playlist and just leave it on until I get my $1,000 hours of watch time. And they don't give me credit for the shorts, so I need you to watch the long videos. So let's go back to crypto, non-fungible. Are you looking at any, crypto projects right now? Because this is like the best time to buy the small caps, right? All the small caps got crushed. So if you're looking for a moon bag, this is the time, right?
I'm still researching on some of these decentralized storage coins, like Stratos Network. But as far as like buying anything new, I haven't really like put in any new money.
So if Money Manny or Adam Smith wants to jump on this live stream, let me know, guys, because they're also really good people. I really like this community we were kind of building. You know what I mean? This is what I enjoy about TikTok, man. This is the best part, and you just get so many people with different perspectives and different, investing philosophies.
Sand crypto looks interesting. Somebody brought up. Yeah, like the other one that I'm looking for is like with some of these metaverse coins, not necessarily like buying them right away, but like getting involved in their ecosystems. Like I wanted to like get my stepdaughter to mess around with Vox, where you could do like your own NFTs there, like 3D stuff for their metaverse. There's one guy that I'm mutuals with on here. He did a video where he created like a school building on Vox.
Have you guys met Money Manny?
No, I haven't.
He's like one of my OGs, man. We do a lot of live streams. Show me your glasses, dude. He has the coolest thing he bought. Can you show him? Or
I'm upstairs. Okay. It's actually downstairs.
No worries. Theta. Okay, so I guess Canna likes Theta. Can I join the live? Let me see. You may not have enough followers.
Remember, Theta is the one I was showing you the other day that they're like decentralized streaming. So they have the Theta.tv, and we all ought to get on that one actually and cross post our content. And then Theta also has an NFT marketplace. I got a few Theta NFTs, like 6 of them, I think. Yeah, Theta's good.
By the way, this is a great question. This is from Litecoin Llama. Is it better to go with a 30-year loan than a 15-year loan? And I think right now, because inflation is so high, you actually want the 30-year loan because it used to be better to do the 15-year loan and pay off your house faster. But if you're able to get into like 3% or less debt, it's actually better to have the 30-year loan, especially when inflation is high. So hopefully that answers that question. And then I guess NVIDIA, I think under 270 is a buy, but let me know if... Dude, he just signed Katy Perry. Canna. That's really cool.
What do you sign her for?
I don't know, man. Dude, I think this guy's way more famous than all of us.
Like, I wasn't sure if he meant like for Theta, like for Theta TV or Theta Drop.
Oh, he's talking about Theta. Theta signed Carrie. I thought Canna, because he has his own studio, so I thought he did it. No, Theta did. You guys hear about Ethereum Max? Like Mayweather and Kardashian got sued.
Yes, I saw that TikTok yesterday. Dang.
That was a scam from the beginning.
It's like making McDonald's Max. I want to make a new crypto called McDonald's Max. Just use other people's like IP.
Bitcoin Max.
Can I invest in Theta TV? Can you? So we I think this Theta token might be one of these movers.
Yeah, and the thing about it though is I think it may have changed, but it's one of those that's probably a security, so we can't buy it on most exchanges. You have to go on KuCoin.
Yeah, that guy, Parabolic Signals, he's really big on Theta.
Okay.
Theta and Kusama. He's huge on that.
Yeah, there's another content creator called, like, the Happy Jewtalian, I think. Like, he's the first one I heard about Theta about, like, early last year. He's huge on it. He talked about, like, selling all of his Bitcoin to get more into Theta.
Wow. Good to know. I hear someone tapping the like button. Thank you, whoever's tapping the like button. That's pretty funny. Oh, thank you for the likes, guys, and thank you for the follows. Yeah, definitely check out KuCoin, and if you want, you can click on my profile link on my link tree. I have a link for the sign up for KuCoin if you're interested. So Theta under 425. Okay. Yeah, I don't own any Theta. I might have to go buy some right now. The one thing I've been trying to get more of is Luna. I'm trying to add more Luna.
Luna's been on fire for a while.
I'm like always late to the party, dude. I'm always late to all of these. I was late to Solana. I was late to Luna, but whatever.
Oh, man, and you need to get on these airdrops, too, man. Like, there's a ton of airdrops going on right now. I'm going to do a video about this really good website I found. A number of websites list the airdrops, but this one actually, like, gives you instructions on how to collect them.
Nice. Yeah, I want to eventually do some NFTs, you know, because like as we build this community with TikTok, I feel like the NFTs is a way to go to like give to like, you know, the people that leave the best comments or like do the most, you know what I mean? Like, I really feel like the best way to build a community is with NFTs because you can't really get in trouble, right? Like it's not really,
Right.
So that is something on my to-do list is to create NFTs and just like award them to people that, you know, do. Wow, he did a solo airdrop.
So that, yeah, if you hold XRP, you can. I think it's not too late for that one. I think it's not too late. It's neat with these things. Like you should really do them sooner than later.
I agree.
And then Jerry, the car guy. Man, there's still opportunities for NFTs, but yeah, we definitely missed out on like the parabolic rise of some of these like Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like I was on my live the other night. I was doing some metrics and analysis, and yeah, Bored Ape Yacht Club it blew up quickly, and it wasn't that long ago. We're talking about like you could have gotten in July.
Party
like,
Finance.
Under 1 Ethereum, and now it's over 100.
Party Finance has one, doesn't he? Don't you have a Bored Ape? Yeah. Dude, you gotta flex it, man. You gotta flex your NFTs since you're the.
Worth 69 ETH, or that's what I have it listed at.
Isn't that
You should change
crazy?
your profile pic, yeah.
No, I don't even. I'm into NFTs, but I'm not into the whole PFP thing.
I think when it comes to making money, Party Finance is always really early. He's really good at getting into this stuff before any of us get
I
into
just
it.
sit here and like, dude, I've been in crypto for like 8 years, and you just like, there's random shit that always pops up. Like my buddies are telling me, so I'm like, all right, I'll throw some money in.
Nice.
But man, I'm really liking these morning live streams, man. I'm enjoying this. It's so much better with having multiple creators because, like, you know, in the beginning it was just me and Party Finance. Like after 30 minutes, I'm like, shoot, I don't have anything to talk about. But yeah, man, this is great having everyone contribute, especially going deep into cryptos because yeah, that's stuff I'm just learning from you guys. So I appreciate your guys' time coming on here and talking about it. I just piss off my.
Yeah, I tried to forward you
I
as many people as I could, you know, like my sources.
No, and I appreciate that, dude. You're really good, man. Like you're like the watcher on TikTok. You know, you got that eye. You're just like constantly just showing me, you know, new stuff.
Those are kind of I do also Crypto Mason, but yeah, those guys I sent you, those are like the main core, you know. Parabox's really good with technical analysis too. It's like
Yeah, he's got a bunch of people. He charges like $50 a month, and a bunch of people pay him, right, for his like.
Yeah, for the signals. He's really good for like more like trading, but you know, he gives long-term advice as well.
There it is, guys. Check out that. Is that 69 Ethereum? What's in dollars? Is that like what, 200 grand?
Right now, the average, so the floor price is like 74.
So what's
75?
So is that a quarter of a
69.
million? Is that a $250,000?
Let's find out. Depending on ETH.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming, dude. A lot of my followers are still trying to find me because I got banned. So yeah, dude, if you guys can, follow me on YouTube. I'm also live streaming on YouTube. Give me a thumbs up. And that way, if I do go,
248,000.
if I go missing on TikTok, my YouTube will always post the new account. So if I do get banned on TikTok, just follow me on YouTube, and whatever my new account is, I'll post it. So here, I'm gonna, dude, that's crazy. $250,000 for digital art.
Well, yeah.
Fun stuff.
I got 4 likes on my YouTube live stream. If I can get 16 of you guys, if I can get like half of you guys to come on my YouTube and give me a thumbs up, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Right.
Yeah, Crypto.com has some decent NFTs.
But they're not $250,000. Like, I still can't get over this. What makes the Bored
Yeah,
Apes?
kind of weird.
Yeah, what makes it worth
But
a quarter?
it's straight up. If you yeah, Barty knows it better. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of VCs and hedge funds coming in. Also, like the Bored Ape was
Right.
also like they're also washing their money. Like I've watched. Like I'm not saying I've done a lot of wash trading within this community. So like that's what I'm saying. Like crypto's cool, but the shit's full of scams, and like people are idiots, and they realize like like they're making money because they're making money off of like fraud.
A big money laundering.
Yeah, it's just like it's me like propping up the market. Like if I had $10 million, I can put $6 million to prop up a fictitious like volume, and then like people will think, oh look, it has like $10 million of daily volume. It's a great project. So that's how it first started, right? And then like obviously it grew and grew and grew, but
Nice.
that's just how it is. That's how most.
It happened quickly, dude. It really happened over the months of like really over August. It
Yeah.
almost all happened in August. Yeah.
I'm gonna end my
There's
YouTube.
only 10,000 of these. You can control it. You control everything.